This is the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time! Presenting the champion of the world, Phil WamBams Benamino!
Yo, it's your boy, it's Phil WamBams Benamino, and it's another WamBam Wednesday. And we're here with a show about ordinary people who have done extraordinary things. And today's no different. But before we get started, as always, remember, the show's free. All we ask is that you subscribe, like, share it. Let some people know about us so we can keep pumping out this great content for you. Because you know what? Without this, normal people, regular people, just like you and me, wouldn't be able to get exposed to some of the cool things that they've done. Like today's guest, sophomore. That's right, 16-year-old Jackson Moffit's in the house. Jackson, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. And Jackson, just so the viewers know, East Forsyth High School student,
Yes,
wrestler, and now state champion. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
So you just won state champ last week. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Man, what was that like? That had to have been like a dream come true.
Yeah, it was unreal because, I mean, I've put it out there pretty often. That was the goal. A lot of people knew that was the goal. A lot of people came to see it. I had a lot of things thrown in my way. I mean, I got fourth last year when I wanted to win it, and then this
Fourth
year,
as a freshman.
Yeah,
as a
but,
freshman.
I mean, that wasn't good enough for me. I wanted to win it.
Now,
So,
what weight class did you go this year?
This year I was 165.
165. That's a tough weight class right there.
That's where the men are at.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Wham Bam wrestled 165. That's right. It's my
sir.
senior year. Not a sophomore. I was a senior then and stuff. So that's definitely where the men are at. You know what? To all the viewers that are out there, just so you know, Jackson Moffit actually was one of two guys that actually wrestled on my mat here in my garage this summer. We're working. You're training. You were training. They were helping Rocco out a little bit, trying to teach him some moves. You and Jacob was another one who I think he might be coming in here later and stuff. But, you know, you two guys were actually here in the house working in the off season, constantly grinding with wrestling, which was amazing to see. And look it's all paid off.
Oh, yeah. Definitely was not easy work.
No. Well, you know what? Let's be honest. Let's tell the viewers a little bit. What is the hardest thing about wrestling?
Honestly, probably just staying healthy.
Yeah.
Like, for me, a lot of people say it's the hard work, but once you enjoy like the grind and the process, and like it's self-induced, and you're the one putting yourself through it, it's not hard to make yourself do it. But for me, it's hard to, stay healthy, whereas I'm like not getting sick and stuff like that. And
Well, you got to remember too. Number one, it's a physical sport, right? It's a contact sport.
very physical
So you're dealing with somebody. You're face to face. You're in people's face. You're at school. You're a young kid at school. You got all different flus going out. You got COVID going around, the bug, different viruses and stuff, strep throat. So yeah, I could see how that could be super challenging to keep yourself healthy. What did you do to actually keep yourself healthy? Because you had a pretty good year this year and a good run, and you didn't get hurt. You didn't sit on the sidelines too often, did you?
no, but I was sick actually wrestling the state tournament.
Were you?
So yeah, I had to adapt, and I usually take like vitamin C gummies or just something to keep my immune system up and whatnot. But I mean, I was slacking on that and got a little under the weather and had a little bit of a fever going into the first round of the tournament, and had to gut it out and whatnot.
Now, you know what? Wrestling's obviously come a long ways. It's changed. The sport's changed. And I'm going to be the first one to tell you, it's not an easy sport. And it's not really fun. Let's face it. If you lose, it's not fun at all.
No.
You know what I mean? So the whole, you're practicing for that one match that you're hoping, within those 3 periods, that 6 minutes, that you're going to be able to come out victorious. And if you don't, you wonder what you did all that work for.
Yeah.
You kind of manifested this year, though. I remember, like you said, over the summer stuff, you said, I want to be state champion, and you were going to be. Like, you were determined, where did you get this hunger for wrestling?
Just not being satisfied. Like, I had a lot of people telling me I was, looked pretty and I was winning a lot of matches. It was good enough. They're like, oh, you're a sophomore, you've won all these matches, that's good enough and whatnot. But I mean, it's probably just getting fourth last year. I wanted to win it. You know what I mean? Like, there was just not an option in my mind. Like, my coach asked me, he was like, what's going to happen if you lose and you have to end up coming back and getting third? And I was like, that's not an option. Losing's not an option. I was like, I have to win it.
Right.
And I took one loss this season. I mean, that frustrated me to no end to where I just didn't want to do it again.
Now, the one thing I did notice, like during the offseason, you wrestled in a lot of different places.
Mm-hmm.
You traveled to Stone Mountain. You traveled to the south side of Atlanta. Like, you went all around looking for competition for people to, to wrestle with, because, you're wrestling, year round, right? And it's not always, feasible to have somebody right there in your backyard to actually wrestle with. What was that like? Or was that part of your strategy to go out there and kind of, wrestle as many people as you can to get used to that?
I just always go and like look for who's gonna give me the workout. It doesn't even matter if I'm winning or losing in the live goes or in practice or whatnot. I'm just gonna go somewhere where I'm gonna be having to work to get better. Like, you never want to go to a place where it's just easy. Like, you just go and the coach makes it easy on you. He doesn't run you when you do something wrong. He doesn't, make you work hard. You know what I mean? Like, you need to go somewhere where someone is on your butt 24/7 telling you to work harder and whatnot. Like, I've had plenty of coaches, tell me that I'm wrestling well, and that helps with confidence some, but, doesn't help near as much as when a coach tells you need to work harder and you're not good enough.
Now you have one coach that we all know. He actually was on our podcast. It was Brooks. Clemens was here. What do you think of his way and stuff? Because I watched Brooks. Brooks is a dog, boy.
Yeah.
He'll get down on you. He get dirty with you, and he don't care if you're throwing up right there. He's gonna make sure you get what you're supposed to get out of a practice.
Yeah. Actually, on Christmas Eve, he texted me for a workout. He said, "Be at this address at 6 a.m. with laughing emojis," and he said, "Text me when you're on your way." So I wake up that morning. It was like 4 or whatnot. I don't know the exact time, but it was really early in the morning. I said, "Coach, I'm on my way." And he was like, "What?" I was like, "I'm on my way." And he was like, "I told you that time because I didn't think you'd make it." And I was like, "Coach, I'm hungry." We get to this workout, and I'm like putting in work. Like, I am practicing as hard, like probably one of the best practices I've had in a while. And he decides to start going live with me, and he's just like trying to break me, trying to like push that breaking point further and further and further, because every time you break it just moves a little further. So he was like trying to put me in tears the day before Christmas to get a good workout in, and ultimately I got a good workout in. So I love his ways. He's one of those coaches. He's not going to sit there and tell me I look pretty for getting second at a tournament.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's gonna tell me to get back in the room the next day. Like, you earn your days off. Like, even still, I won the state tournament. I only took a couple days off before I was back in the gym, back to work. You know what I mean?
Right. How many tournaments did you wrestle at this year? Like, how many matches did you have?
I had 48.
48 matches. What was your record?
47-1.
47-1.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about the one. What happened with the one? Was that a loss? Was that a draw? What was that? It was a loss. How bad? Did you get stuck?
Yeah, I got pinned, but I went into that match.
The state champion got pinned.
Yeah.
It can happen. It can happen. You get cut.
It can. But that he's also another state champ. So I'm glad to see that I didn't lose to someone who's just, not doing things. We were wrestling, and it was going pretty well. It was a really close match. Almost, it was like 30 seconds left in the first period. And I get him in a front headlock, try to reach for a leg, and he locks his arms, like double jointed, unlocks his shoulder and reaches over and locks his hand, sits to his own butt, and did a really weird Russian technique and stuck me.
Wow.
But it was really early on in the season. I was pretty frustrated with that loss. But I just took it back to the practice room. And
you know what? I've said this many, many times. Kids need to lose, because you learn a heck of a lot more from that one loss than I bet you did from the 47 wins.
Oh yeah.
You know, you probably don't even remember some of them wins, but you always remember that loss.
I remember a lot of my losses. Like, I can tell you, ones that hurt, ones that, I was confused with, ones that I still think about, all that. But that one was definitely one I was confused with. It was a really, really weird move.
Yeah.
But
So what do you think about the sport this year, how it's changed and stuff? Like, I know they let girls are wrestling now, which is interesting. Have you ever had to wrestle a girl?
I have, actually, but you can't do that during GHSA. They changed it this year to where girls is a separate sport.
Okay.
But I have, over the summer, I had to wrestle a girl in freestyle. Yeah, at one of those tournaments.
She stick you?
No, she didn't stick me. It was a pretty quick match.
Are you guys dating now? Do you guys hook up afterwards or what?
No, sir.
No. But you got to have a level of respect for that.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
if you're if you look at the bracket that says 16U 170 and you're like, I'm gonna go compete, you know, you're still putting yourself out there and competing at a tough weight class, at a tough tournament. No one's forcing you to do it. So I mean, there is respect there.
Yeah,
no doubt.
What about any transgenders? Any of that? Any girls that were guys and became girls, or girls that became guys and are now wrestling?
I don't think that's happened. At least not near my weight class. I just try to stay focused on like 65 and.
Yeah. Would it matter to you at all?
No.
No, you don't care.
No doubt.
Step on a mat, you're still gonna stick them.
Yeah.
Don't matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's for me. It's like if you're a human, then it's fair game. Like you still bleed blood, you still breathe oxygen. The goal is still the same: win.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dominate.
But so tell me about your practices and stuff. How often did you practice? What was your routine like? And you obviously had some pretty good kids that you wrestled with at school, because I always believe that to be a state champ, you gotta be around some really good people, right? And you gotta be able to practice and maneuver. So some kids must have actually stepped up, or I bet you've made them better as well.
Oh yeah.
Doing that.
No doubt. My drill partner and live partner during the season was actually Coach Tomlinson.
Oh yeah, so you wrestled with the coach most of the time?
Most of the time, like when we were doing live goes, it was like you have to go with the high schooler. Like I'd go with a couple buddies around my weight and stuff, and just try to like not manhandle them. I'd try to like let them figure things out and coach them through certain positions and whatnot. But I wouldn't try to like hurt them or anything. It wasn't like the same goal. But when I wrestle Coach T, it's like it's a brawl.
Yeah.
Like it's practically fighting.
Can you beat him?
We did actually go back and forth a lot this year. We were like neck and neck. I'd say like he probably maybe 60%, 40% him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, but you're only a sophomore. You still got 2 more years of this.
Yes, sir.
I bet you he's like scratching his head going, boy, what am I going to do?
Yeah, no, we had some really good live goes. Like a lot of the times we'd have really long scrambles and stuff, and like it would turn the heads of everyone when they're going live and stuff. And we had one really good one this year where I ended up throwing him. He was like very complimentary of that.
Yeah.
He's never like upset when I beat him or anything. He's always looking for what's best for me. So that's good.
It's going to be hard for a coach too, though, because I know, obviously I've coached my whole life as well, but coaching a kid and actually rolling with them, God forbid you got hurt. You know what I mean? And that falls on the coach. You're sitting there going, dang. I'm just trying to make them better, and I'm wrestling with them, and all of a sudden, boom, something bad or freaky happens.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful.
At the end of the day, it's just wrestling. I know, a coach wouldn't do that to me on purpose, but
of course.
Funny enough, he actually broke a finger.
Oh, yeah? He broke his finger.
I don't even think it was me, which is a funny thing. Yeah.
That's crazy. So, obviously in the off season, which is coming, right? I mean, state champ, you've done it.
Yeah.
You got to the highest level. But let's talk about that real quick. Because it wasn't easy getting to become state champ. You had to win sectionals first, and that was one of your first, mountain climbs that you had to go through. Was there anybody there? Did you ever have to meet back up with that kid to beat you earlier in the year?
No, sir. He's in 7A. He goes to Buford. But at regionals. That one I just kind of handled my business, won that one. Sectionals, I had a scare pretty, like, first round. I got headlocked to my back and had to fight through it, like, passed out while I was on my back and stuff, and had to battle through that, which was pretty scary. And then, took it out on the next guy, obviously.
Yeah.
And then, get to state. I didn't see anyone I've seen at region sectionals before. It was all new kids.
Now, what is that like when you're going into finals? They shut the lights off. They put the spotlight on you. The music starts playing. Do you get to choose your music to come out to?
No, it's the same song every year. "In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins.
That's it, man.
Yeah,
Phil
so
Collins,
that song is always gonna resonate with me.
Bring you chills either way.
Oh yeah.
But now it's got a new meaning for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even listen to it on the way here. I was like, I got to be in the finals to hear this song. Like it's a gift. But the day of the finals, they sit you down and have a meeting, but I didn't really hear a whole lot when they were saying the meeting. And then they have you walking out, and like you hear your name, you hear all this, you have the spotlight hitting you, obviously, all the lights are off, you look around, the stadium's at max capacity, which is 9,000 people. So that was
exciting, huh?
Really exciting. I was looking around. My goal for the finals was just to keep my mind off it. So I was like looking at my friends in the stands and stuff, joking around, like staying loose and stuff, and that definitely helped to not be taking it seriously. I was taking it seriously, but
of course. But now, are you a kid? Do you get nervous? Like, are you nervous before a match?
It's more anxious. I'm just ready to wrestle. I'm always like, chest is tight, like I'm not loose and stuff until I shake hands, and then once I shake hands, it's like everything just it's like swiping sweat off your back. You know what I mean? It's like I'm in the zone now.
So what's your favorite part of the game? Like, where do you excel the most? You on your feet guy? You like to be on top? You the bottom? Like, where do you like to be?
Neutral for sure.
Yeah.
I like to slick takedowns and stuff. I mean, ideally, I get to the point where I'm dominating to the point where I take people down, let them back up, and then take them down.
Oh yeah.
I did that a lot this year, where I just take people down and let them back up to just sharpen that iron.
That's become more and more of the game over the years. Back in the day when I wrestled, like I had the escape record back in the day, which was hard to get because people were trying to hold you down. They didn't just let you go. And now my record's crushed by some kid that wasn't even that good, but because his competition would just let him up all the time, type of thing. So, but yeah, that's part of the game. So your feet, what's your favorite takedown? Do you tossing people? You throwing double leg, single leg? Where you at?
So I am Greco. I do a lot of Greco. So that's like the style where you just throw people. So I am, if there's 30 seconds left and I'm down, I need to throw somebody, I will. But I choose to keep it safe most of the time. I like to fake club, get to an underhook, and shoot a high crotch or an outside single. Rarely I'll shoot blast doubles and stuff like that, and I like that a lot because it's just like truly just dominating. Like if you get blast double through your chest, it's hard to recover from that in a match.
I mean, 47-1. Obviously, you got a pretty impressive record as a sophomore, but. What is your weakness? I mean, everybody's got weaknesses. What would you say your biggest weakness is if you had to work on something for your junior year? Because let's face it, you're a junior. You're going to be a junior, and everybody knows you're state champ. You're the guy. You're the guy everybody wants to wrestle. Everybody wants to beat. Everybody wants to hurt a little bit and try to throw you into the mat because they want to make a name for themselves, right? So you got to be careful. So what are you going to work on as far as your weakness? What is your weakness?
Probably nutrition and then the weight room.
Yeah.
I did not lift a lot during the season. I just kept it to wrestling and, definitely need to hit the weight room more and be more nutritionally sound.
Yeah.
Because I found a lot of times throughout the season I'd weigh in and I'd weigh in at 165 then be 180 the next day. And I'm not even cutting that much. I'm just eating bad because I feel like I have to. You know what I mean? So I just need to really just hone that in. And I feel like, once you start handling your nutrition, that's when things really start going your way.
Well, it's funny you mention that. It's smart that you say that. I wish most kids would realize that nutrition is key in any sports, but honestly, it's key to life. And you don't realize that till you get older. So you're learning at a younger age is definitely going to help you down the road because your body is your temple, obviously, and what you put in it is what you get out of it too. And if you put crap in it, I tell kids all you put crap, you're gonna feel like crap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean and stuff. And if you're going that extra period, you got to go into overtime, or you need to get that extra point.
You start feeling those cheeseburgers in the.
There you go. Yeah. Doesn't mean you can't have them.
No,
you just got to know
moderation.
You got to know when and what and all the other things. What about recovery? What do you do for recovery after practice?
When I go to the gym after my workouts, I'll go to the sauna a lot, and I like to stretch a lot. I'm really flexible. I can do a full split and whatnot, so I like to stretch a lot.
You do any flips?
I can't. I've backflipped before.
Do you ever do on the mat after you pin somebody, get up to do a backflip?
Nah, because I feel like your legs are shot after match. What if your feet get stuck in stand? You land on your neck. Then
probably not
really
the wisest thing to do, right?
Yeah. Then who really won?
Yeah. I mean? That's true. But as far as healing, you do any cryotherapy? You do any cold therapy, plunging, any of that stuff?
No, I needed to be taking more ice baths. I've done those before, but they're not regular in my routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to make them regular, man. They're big. They're a big deal now. It changes everything. It's a game changer.
It shocks your fight or flight, right? And releases that hormone or something like that.
Yep.
I heard about that.
Yep. And they get that adrenaline rolling too, on top of it all. But it also burns fat, believe it or not. It's actually burns a lot more fat than anything else you can do, really. Obviously, diet's always important in what you're putting in, but people don't realize it. You don't have to do it for a long time, but you got to be disciplined to get in it too. 3 minutes in an ice bath is it's piercing at times.
Mm-hmm.
So,
no doubt.
What is your plan for now? Now wrestling's over and stuff. Obviously, is this the only sport you do? Or you play any other sports?
Wrestling's my only sport.
Wrestling's your only sport, so you're all in on wrestling.
Yeah, the plan is to just start hitting the gym rather than where after school 4 o'clock wrestling practice until 6 o'clock, then wrestling practice again from 7 to 8:30, multiple times a week. I'm gonna go from school ending to the gym to wrestling practice, keep doing the club stuff, and hopefully like find a job or just keep lifting, keep getting stronger, putting on lean muscle mass and whatnot.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Jackson, your goal is obviously sophomore. You don't have a whole lot of time, but you're saying wrestling's it. You're all in on wrestling. Are you planning on going to college in wrestling, or
No
do
doubt.
you have any other goals with that?
No doubt. I want to win my junior and senior year state titles. I want to go and do things at the national level, Fargo titles, national titles, all that type of stuff. And then I want to go, secure some scholarship money and go wrestle in college, and then perform there, All-American and whatnot. So I there's no doubt in my mind that this is what I want to do. This is my calling. I want to wrestle. I want to wrestle in college, and then see where that takes me MMA-wise and whatnot.
Well, that's cool. Do you think Olympics is something that's on your radar at all, or?
No doubt, but I mean that's a different level.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be really cool. 'Cause I really like freestyle and Greco.
Yeah.
A lot.
Which one do you like better, freestyle or Greco? Because obviously, Greco's upper body, right?
Greco.
Throws and everything.
Greco.
Freestyle is just pretty much on your feet, takedowns, different things of that.
I like Greco because you have to worry about less. You know what I mean? It's like, there's one goal. Just put this kid on their head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Throw him.
That's it.
So, I mean, it's a lot more simple, I feel like, than having to slick takedowns and whatnot.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, folks, this is Wham Bam at WamBams Podcast. I want to take a moment to thank our major sponsor, Cost Plus Processing, the leader in merchant processing. If you're a business owner and you're accepting credit cards or need to accept credit cards, reach out to Cost Plus Processing at 1-855-391-9190. That's 1-855-391-9190. And find out why they are the future in merchant processing. Now back to the show. Geez, I think we got somebody else coming in right now. Is that another champion coming in right now?
The champ is here.
I have arrived.
The champ is here.
Holla.
The champ is here.
Hey,
I'm here with the works first.
The
I'm
champ is
very
here.
good.
The champ is here.
Watch.
The champ.
we got two champions in the house. Welcome, Jacob. Just showing up, man.
I'm
Glad
glad to be
you
here.
could make it to the pod. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Good, man. Good here. Talking to Jackson Moffit, another state champ. You guys are there together, two different weight classes. What are you, 121? You're a little...
I always,
little-
I'm like 106 right now.
106. Would you wrestle? 285?
Yes, sir.
Heavy, super heavyweight.
Whoa, not super heavyweight.
Well, at 285 though, you can wrestle anybody, right?
If you're 285
what's
and
the
over,
max?
285.
Right. Yeah. So, but I'm just saying, like, if I'm 300, I could still wrestle 285. No.
You got to cut down.
Oh, I got to cut down. So it's
Yep.
got to be 285. There was no like 3 or 4 pounds, nothing in there.
You get like a 3-pound allowance.
Okay. So what'd you weigh in when you wrestled states?
241.
241. You gave up 45 pounds, 46 pounds, 49 pounds. You're just giving up all kinds of weight. So didn't matter.
No, sir.
Didn't matter. So, well, you know what? I'm glad you were able to make it, and I'm excited. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations on making state. Second time?
Yes, sir.
Second state champ? Junior?
Yes, sir.
Still got one more round?
Oh, yeah.
One more round? Going to go for 3 down? 3 in a row? All right. So, tell us a little about your journey, Jacob. What happened this year? I know we potted it earlier in the year, and you were getting ready, and I was telling all the viewers and stuff how you and Jackson come out to the house here and roll a
Yeah.
little bit with Rocco, teaching him a few moves. And listen, this is to both of you. First of all, I commend you both because you guys are really, really super individuals. I mean, you're not arrogant, you're not cocky, you're just confident. You know what you guys can do, but you're always willing to help others. I just think that's awesome because today's day and age, these kids today, not everybody's like that. They don't want you to get better. They don't want you to know what you know, because they want to have something to hang over your head. But, you guys shared your knowledge. You guys opened up your arms. You guys, did what you need to do. And that's what true champions. You guys deserve being where you are today. So congratulations and thank you both for being the guys that you are. I just wanted to say that first. But, Jacob, what was your year? How many matches did you wrestle this year?
I don't know. So I was kind of late coming to the season because of football. And I had some pretty tough matches in the beginning, but once I got into it, it started easing out a little bit.
Yeah. So I know you football. You guys went pretty deep in the football, right?
Yes, sir.
As
We got
well.
to the third round.
Third round, yeah. So you were out there and playing. Now, did you get any football scholarships offers as well?
No, sir.
No. So it was all wrestling, man. You were
Oh, yeah.
just, which is what you wanted, right? And I see that you're committed. North Carolina wrestling. There it is. That's a done deal. No,
sir.
you're not gonna go to transfer portal too early, are you?
Nah.
All right, you're at home there. Well, good. So what was it like for you, man, being there a second time? Obviously, you got a target on your back. Jackson's going to be going through this next year. We talked about it a little bit earlier, being that, once you're a state champ, now everybody wants to break you down and come get you. Did you feel that this year? Was it different this year than it was last year for you?
I wouldn't say so. I would say your first time in the state is the hardest time in the state. Because your second time around, you know how it's going to be, you know how it's going to feel. The only thing I do is trust in your training even more.
Training's key.
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel like you trained a lot more, or do you think it got easier because you knew what you're doing?
I train a lot more. Can't just let up. Because if you let up, that's when people start beating you. You got to train like you're underdog still.
Yeah. So did you find, though, that some people were trying to maybe hurt you or get you in a vulnerable state of mind, maybe play some mind games with you? Does that happen at your age? I mean, you're a big kid. I don't think people are going to pick on you, but I mean, does it happen? I mean, Jackson, have you seen that? Like, kids try to get into your brain and stuff? Because I know when I wrestled, man, we used to go watch our competition. Like when they were getting ready, like we were getting ready for a dual meet, and the night before, if the people that we were going to wrestle next, they had a match, we would go there, we'd sit on the front row, and we would sit there and we'd stare them down, and we're like, I'm getting you tomorrow, baby, I got you.
Yeah.
Like, did any of that trash talking go on with you guys?
I'm not even gonna lie to you. When we were in the weighing line, and I saw the kid I knew I'd have in the finals, I was kind of cracking jokes with them a little bit. I mean,
What'd you say?
I just stupid jokes like, "Oh, that's it. That's all you weigh," or like whatnot, stuff like that. I mean, that's just me just joking around, just being who I am. That wasn't necessarily trying to get in his head. I mean, I don't know if it worked or if it did get in his head, but I mean, I just try to joke around with people, but yeah, I don't know.
What about you, Jacob?
Well, it's kind of the other way around. Kids go to their teammates like, oh, this kid won Fargo, this kid did this kid did that. You get them a little bit more scared. I don't really go talk to the kids.
Right.
They always come and talk to me.
That's right. Yeah, I guess when you think about that, that's right. They're like, oh shit, you got to wrestle him, type of thing. But see, in my world though, I want to wrestle you. I want to wrestle the best guy, because if I lose to you, I'm supposed to lose.
Yeah.
I'm no pressure. But if I beat you,
You get all the praise.
I become king.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right? That's what it's all about. That's what everybody wants to do. They want to get to that top of that hill and stuff. So, now that you're both there at the top of the hill, obviously you got to be careful, because every now and then you get a kid that wants to break you down. And, they feel like instead of rising up to your level, they try to break you down to theirs. Mm-hmm. And that can unfortunately, create injuries or, some bad things that they, even off the field, try to do. Do you ever get like, you got a real big rivalry match, and you kind of send over a girl to go over there and try to be their girlfriend for a night and get in their head a little bit, so they're out late and they're sleepy the next match. You ever hear any of them stories?
Nah, nothing like that.
Nothing like that?
Nah.
Damn, wrestling's changed, man. Back in our day, we would do that, man. We'd send over a couple girls, like, hey, let's send Jacob a couple girls, man. Take him out tonight, because he got a big match tomorrow. Maybe they'll tire him out, hang out all night, get him, maybe get him force a drink or two on him and stuff.
I mean,
But never.
No,
you don't
sir.
think you'd ever be tempted by anything like that?
no, sir.
No.
Yes, sir.
See, that's the one thing about wrestlers, man. You guys are all disciplined. If I had football players in here, even pro football players, they'll be all like, oh, yeah, man, a girl come get me, I'm out. It's tough. But wrestling's a whole different mindset, man. You got that discipline part. So, Jacob, what are you doing now? I mean, now state champ again, second time. What's next?
World team trials. So I got fourth last year. I lost a pretty close match in the semis. It wasn't close at the end, but I was hanging in there, and just something slipped up, and I fell down, and I lost.
Yeah.
But that's in the past. We're going to build it from the future right now and going to keep on working.
Well, it's good that you know that. I was telling Jackson earlier, we always learn more from our losses.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Than our wins. And the losses, for some reason, stick with us. We remember those. We don't remember the wins all the time, except for the big ones, But, state champ, I'm sure that was a day you're going to always remember, doing that and so forth. Was anything different, Jacob, this time around for you than the first time? I mean, obviously, you experienced it last year. Going there again this year, like you said, it was a little bit easier because you kind of know. We talked about the song that, the come out song, and, what that's like, and hearing that song and getting chills. But you kind of, you know what to expect. Do you think that's an advantage for you?
Yes, 100%. So like a lot of kids first time there, they're nervous, they're on their feet a lot and walking around and stuff. They're burning nervous energy, not saving their energy for the match. So when they go wrestle, they're already tired. So like a thing I learned from my freshman year. So like freshman year I got second. I warmed up a lot. I was over here moving around a lot. So I came back and learned from my sophomore year and junior year, as we see at one state. I learned how to sit down, relax, and just be mindful of what I'm doing.
Right. And then, of course, your sophomore year, boom, state champ. Junior year, boom, state champ. Senior year,
boom, state champ.
There it is. We're going to find out. And we got Jackson saying he's going to come on. He wants to three-peat himself. So there we go. We got good opportunities and stuff to be able to do that. Jacob, we talked about Jackson's weakest spot. He said his weakest spot, he don't have one. Do you believe that?
Seeing him at Coach Brooks' practice?
Nice.
Tell us about Coach Brooks' practice. Come on, let's hear it. Let's hear the dirt. Come on.
Coach Brooks just put us through that work. You
Yeah.
know? Just top and bottom, just neutral game sometimes. Couldn't stick with Brooks. You wrestle with Coach Brooks?
Yeah. He's been like, he'll be like, get in the stance. And I get in the stance. He's like, respect my level changes. And I don't. And then he's like, respect my level changes. I don't. Then, he hits me with that mean blast double. It's like, hurts.
It hurts.
It's like getting hit by a truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, worse.
So Jackson said he had no weaknesses, man, in wrestling. What do you think of that?
I like the confidence.
Yeah. Okay, you see, we found something positive off of that. He's like, do you believe him?
Yeah, I believe him.
Yeah. No, he didn't say that. He has weaknesses. Jackson, what did you tell him the weakness was?
I said nutrition and the weight room.
That's right. Nutrition and the weight room. What's your nutrition like? I mean, obviously, you're wrestling 285. You're 241. You're giving up all this weight. Did you ever think about going to 225?
My sophomore year, yeah. Before they said it was going to be 215, I think I was going to go down 220.
Yeah.
But since they changed it to 215, I wasn't going to go down.
No reason to, right?
Yeah, and I was still playing football at the time.
Right.
So I didn't want to lose that weight while during football season.
What's it like that you can eat whatever you want to eat and still go to practice? I don't think I ever did that. I mean, I wrestled quite a bit and got, in school and everything. And I don't think I was always cutting weight. I never could just eat, That's got to be one advantage for you.
Not really. It's a blessing and a curse. Yeah, I can eat what I want, but I can be mindful what I eat. I can't eat bad foods like greasy stuff, and I'd be wrestle sluggish.
Yeah. See, and I think that's now when I actually think about the process and what it would do for you, it has got to be harder for you. You got to almost be more disciplined, I think, as somebody that can eat versus somebody that's got to suck weight.
Yeah.
Because they got to eat better, because they got to make weight. Whereas you, like you said, you can have a cheeseburger, nobody going to know.
Yeah.
It ain't going to affect your weight, and it's not going to affect whether you get in or not. So that is something that you got. What's your go-to food? What's your cheat
Pasta.
meal? Like big.
Oh, my cheat meal?
Yeah. What's your cheat meal?
That's
man?
a good one. I don't know.
What's a big guy like you go
I'm
for?
more of a strawberry ice cream type of guy.
Strawberry ice cream.
Yeah.
Like with shortcake in there and
Just
everything.
straight strawberry ice cream.
That's it. Just
Yeah.
strawberry ice cream. How about you, Jackson? What do you like?
Oh, wow.
You're getting hungry just thinking about it. Look at you. I see it in your eyes. You're
As I
like,
said, like my
you cut a lot of
nutrition
weight, first of all, because you were 165, but did you have to cut a lot of weight?
No, during the season, like the first couple of tournaments, yeah, I guess I'm cutting, but like I'm still, by the time my body gets used to it and I'm hitting these double practices and whatnot, my weight stays around the same. Like the heaviest I got during the season was like 171, and that was when I knew I didn't have a tournament for a while.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not necessarily, but my cheat meal,
Yeah. What's your go-to?
ooh, I don't know. It's going to take a while. Probably like a bacon cheeseburger and then finish it off with like a blizzard.
There you go.
Yeah.
Little DQ.
Yeah,
Little DQ action right there. Well, I hate you both because you guys didn't have to cut much weight, man. That seems like it's always. I'm still cutting weight. My whole life I've been cutting weight, and stuff. It's not easy, Talked about recovery. What do you do, Jacob? We talked a little bit earlier about, Jackson, what he tries to incorporate and what, stretching is very important for him,
Yes.
everything else. But do you get any routines after you're done working out or after, a big practice, or you just go to Chick-fil-A and grab you some nuggets? Like, what do you do?
So I stretch. Like I go home, take 10 minutes on my day, stretch, Meditation's a good thing too. Get your mind clear for the next day. Wake up, I pray, thank the Lord.
There you
and
go.
Just go on about my day then.
Nice. What about as far as you do any cold therapy? We talked about that with ice baths.
Oh, yeah,
like
I
that.
take ice baths.
Do you do that? So
Full
you feel
body.
do you feel like that helps you?
100%.
See, Jackson, I'm telling you, you got to get on them ice baths. Is it because you're afraid of the coldness, man? You don't like cold?
I just, honestly, I just like to be warm.
Yeah.
I like people.
You'd rather go in the sauna.
Yeah, I'd rather hit the
instead-
sauna, for sure.
hit that up. To each his own. But maybe, you know what? You got to make yourself uncomfortable. Maybe that's
Oh,
the
yeah,
next
no
level.
doubt. You got to be
you know?
comfy being uncomfy.
That's right. So maybe next level this year, you need to incorporate some cold baths. You need to do some, some cold plunges and stuff throughout the year.
Yeah, that could be the difference in pinning through a bracket and teching through it.
There you go. That's right. Or that extra 1 point in overtime that you gotta get that takedown, that one last move and stuff. So in fact, you had a close one in semis, didn't you?
Yeah.
What was that like? Were you a
should not
little
have been close.
freaked out because I know you assumed you were going to beat this kid pretty good.
Yeah, as I said, I was sick, and I mean that's no excuse whatsoever. But I started thinking sick, so I wasn't thinking, "Hey, I'm gonna beat this kid." I started thinking, "I am sick. I'm better than this kid. This one's just gonna be handed to me." And I had a sloppy little half attempt at a throw and whatnot. Put myself on my back, gave that kid 4 points because of the takedown, the near fall. Then decided this match is already won. Decided to start stalling. Then was losing by a point. Had to let him go and get another takedown, and just made it a lot closer than it needed to be. Had to take some injury time, hit the inhaler because my lungs were messed up. Had to throw up in the middle of the match. It was really ugly. But once again, I'd rather win ugly than lose.
Now, Jacob, I know you went to some wrestling practices with Jackson before. You've seen him. Have you seen him throw up a few times?
Actually, I haven't seen Jackson throw up at all. That's a new one.
No, that's a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw up, so it was awful. I
Really?
don't even think much came out.
I
think
thought
was just
Brooksy, Coach Brooks, told me that you got sick a couple times. Like
I'm not a big throwing up type
he
of guy.
pushed you to that limit where you. That's
Well,
where.
He pushes me to like tears and like I'm
Crying.
I'm like,
oh,
I'm
you're
about-
crying.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
we didn't hear about that. Yeah,
He pushes me to like I'm about to fight this guy.
He's like, you're crying, you're throwing up, and this is fun. This is fun. This is what you guys
Yeah,
choose
pretty
as
much.
fun.
I love wrestling.
Would have traded for the world.
There you go. So that's pretty amazing. When you really think about it, you put that in perspective. We talked to Jackson earlier about females wrestling. Have you ever encountered or had to wrestle a female?
When I was a little kid, I did.
When you were a little kid, you had
Yeah.
to? Okay. What was that like?
I wrestled like a guy.
Did you?
She stepped on the
Or
mat.
she wrestled like a guy?
Oh, no. I wrestled her like a guy. She stepped on the mat with me. I'm not going to no offense to any women out there. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But you're going to step on the mat with me. I'm going to wrestle you like you're one of my kind. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to take it lightly on you. And if I lose, it's going to look bad on me. But if I win, I'm not losing anything. So I'm still stuck in that predicament.
But did you ever have the point where you're like, I just don't want to wrestle that girl because she's cute and I kind of like her and I really don't want to pin her. I don't want to hurt her and I sure as heck don't want her to pin me or hurt me because now it really looks silly. Like it's almost like a lose-lose scenario. Like you ever feel that way?
No, I beat up my girlfriend's a wrestler. She got third at state this year and she got second at state last year.
Really?
Yeah.
What weight class is she wrestling?
144 this year.
Dang.
Or
Did you guys ever
145.
roll a little bit?
Huh?
You guys roll a little bit?
Yeah.
Practice stuff? Wow. I would love to see that. That's interesting. Well, at least she loves what you love.
Yeah.
That's a match made in heaven. So, hey folks, this is Wham Bam at WamBams Podcast. I just wanted to let you know that we've launched our website and merchandise is now available to you. That's right. We have hats, we have t-shirts, we have hoodies. The hoodies have been going off the shelf already. The Stay Positive hoodies. That's right. Stay positive, folks. And keep tested negative. As you know, go to our website at www.wambamspodcast.com. That's www.wambamspodcast.com. Now back to our show. But I think myself, I would kind of not really want to wrestle a female. I just wouldn't, because I would be afraid of both. I would be afraid of beating her too bad or her beating me. You know what I mean? Type of thing. I mean, you imagine what that's like the next day at school. Do you guys ever, I know Jackson, you're 47-1. You only had one loss, but did you ever, get harassed a little bit about that loss at school? Your boys pick on you a little bit?
Well, the rest of my team, the second best record was nowhere near that. But honestly, it was in reverse. There's all these basketball kids you think you could take me? You think you could beat me in a fight?
Oh.
Do you think you could beat this kid up? Do you think you could beat that kid up? And I mean, the fact of the matter, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm not gonna fight anyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
That's right.
talking about lose-lose scenarios. You know what I mean? I beat someone up in the school bathroom, then I'm suspended. So what good did that?
That's right.
So I mean, I've never been harassed over a loss. I mean, my coach, even he saw it. He was like, "That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I've never seen that before." I don't know what to tell you. Just don't lose again.
You guys get made fun of. You know, back in the day when I first wrestled, wrestling had just became a bigger sport. But, you know, a lot of people, oh, two guys rolling around on a mat. It's funny. You know, you guys are a little bit on the other side and stuff. Do they still do that stuff at school now or no? Or is that gone? Because now it's a whole different level because wrestlers now, I mean, you got to be a true warrior to be a wrestler. And a lot of your MMA fighters after, you know, school, and that's what they end up becoming. A lot of wrestlers turn into MMA, you know, fighters and stuff like that because you love the ability of that combat sport, that touching, hands-on, you know, person to person, mano to mano, you know, with nobody else to blame but you and them, right? You know, what is it like today in school? Is there still that persona? Is it people still pick on that stuff, wearing the singlet and all that stuff?
So for me, a lot of people respect me because I wrestle. You're like, they're like, it's such a tough sport. I'm like, yeah. Some kids come try it out. They leave after a day, and they're like, Jacob, how do you do it? I'm just like, just gotta love it.
Well, as I was telling Jacob, it's not fun. It really isn't. I mean, it's hard work. The fun part is the reward afterwards when you win.
100%.
But you know what? When you don't win, it ain't so fun. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you think about it. And you know, you go out there and you get stuck, you get pinned, you know, 20, 30 times in a row, and you're still showing up to practice, and you're still sweating, and you're putting in all the work and all the time, and you're cutting weight, and you can't win. You start questioning yourself.
Yeah.
But I've seen people do it. From a freshman to a sophomore, and all of a sudden, instead of being pinned 20 times, now all of a sudden they're 10-10. Yeah. You know, and they got a little bit better. By the time they're a junior, they're 20-0, you know, type of thing. The tide switches because that type of person, he showed what his value was and what his worth was as an actual, you know, competitor. You know, it wasn't just a sport, but, you know, you got to stick in it. You got to stick in it. You can't quit. That's a one thing about wrestling. You're not allowed to quit when you wrestle. No. So, what do you think, Jackson? You know, if you had to wrestle Jacob, you know, let's just say you guys weighed the same weight. You know, skill level.
The same weight?
Yeah, you weigh the same weight. What do you think? Can you take him? Huh? What was that, Jacob?
I beat Jackson.
You beat Jackson?
Yeah.
You beat him?
I don't know, man. If we're the same weight, it's fair game.
Yeah.
Like I said.
Could you take him, though? Yeah. Jacob said, nope, I'm taking him down.
I'm trying to be respectful and say it's a close match, but I feel like it'd be a close match in my... As a wrestler, I'd never admit someone can beat me.
Yeah.
Jacob Levy would not beat me if we were the same weight.
Oh, there you have it. There you have it. I gotta love that. You gotta love that. What is... Jacob, you're so relaxed. You're so cool. It's probably not the first time you've heard that, right? People all the time probably say, you know what? Hey, you know, the 120-pound, you know, champion probably says, yeah, if I was 241.
Yeah,
probably,
no, literally.
Yeah, I could probably take you and stuff. What do you do with wrestling after this, Jacob? What are your plans? And obviously, you're going to college. You're going to go to the next level. You've already committed to North Carolina. What was that like, man? Take us through that because, you know, Jackson hasn't done that yet, and I'm sure he's going to get a lot of offers next year. But what's it like going out there and actually being wanted by schools? Because there's not a whole lot of wrestling scholarships out there like there is with, you know, football and baseball, some of these other sports. You know, what was that journey like for you?
I would say it's very stressful. A lot of coaches are calling you. They're saying this in your year to put in that in your year. It's a little bit of bad mouthing from coach to coach. Depends who you talk to. I won't put any names out, but it does happen a lot. But, you know, finding the right school, it feels such like it's a great feeling, finding the right school. You know, going there.
You mentioned a comment about, you know, coaches bad mouthing other coaches and stuff. That's got to be a horrible way of recruiting.
Yeah,
you know, I'm just gonna put that out there. I mean, here you are. How old are you now?
17.
You're 17 years old. 17-year-old person sitting here, understanding that, hey, this coach is bad mouthing another coach. That ain't cool.
Yeah.
You know, type of thing. Like when you got to break somebody down to your level, it's just never cool, right?
Yeah.
You got to, you want to try to raise up to theirs, right? That's what they should be doing. And I was never fond of anybody that talked ugly about another program.
Yeah.
Just talk about yours. Build yours. Sell your program for what it is. And obviously, you found a match for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, when did you know North Carolina was the place that I want to wrestle at?
So me going there. So at first, you know, I was going to go to Lehigh, but me going to UNC, they just I felt a little bit more at home. It was closer to home, and I felt like I could have got the same education. At the end of the day, it's all about education. So I feel like if I went to UNC, I'm still getting a really good degree. Mm-hmm. And it's just closer to home, so it's all just a better fit.
Right. That's nice. You know, Jackson, he's going to be going through this in the next year or two. What would some of the things that you would tell him that maybe you didn't know before that now you do that can give him or anybody else that's watching some knowledge of when they're being recruited?
Be relaxed. Don't let any coaches force you to commit right there on the spot. think about where you're going because you're going to be there for the next 4 or 5 years of your life. That's a big thing.
That's a huge thing. I'm going to touch on that because that's in anything, and that's like with life or anything else. And I'll tell you a funny story. It just kind of triggered and made me think of a story. The very first house I bought here in Georgia when I had my daughter and stuff, I just wanted to white, picket fence with the house and the pool, and thought, okay, one was up for sale, and I bought it. I never looked at my neighbors. I never looked at the bus stop. I never looked at the school. I didn't look at this, was there a grocery store close by? Like none of that mattered at the time. I just wanted a house. It was my first house, I was so excited about it, and I didn't put all that thought process in there. So what you just said, Jacob, is extremely smart because, it's not just what the coaches are telling you and how you feel as an athlete, but what's it like around the campus?
It's so
what the people, what are the people going to treat you? How are the people that are there? What is the culture like?
Very friendly, Southern culture, so everybody's really nice, really mannerful. Everybody's just like caring, and I know some guys down there too, so. It's fun out there.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. But it's important to know these things.
Yeah.
So, Jackson, you hear it from them, make sure when you're out there, you're not just looking at the program, as far as what they can do and what they're telling you, because they're, they'll promise you the world. I bet you got a lot of promises, a little NIL money out there too and stuff, people throwing things around, but you got to understand that, like you said, education is important, and what can you get out of it? God forbid something happens, you can't wrestle. What else are you going to get out of it? You want it to be your home, right?
Yeah, that's been put in my brain since my brother's been going through the recruiting process. Like, would you be going to this college if you were not an athlete?
Yeah.
If the answer is no, then it's probably not the right college.
There you go. That's true.
You're a student athlete, not an athlete student. So
yeah, and I think a lot of kids get that mixed up. I mean, it's right. You're using the sport. Obviously, you use sport to get you to college, and you're very fortunate that people can get scholarships and can get the money to actually go to college to be able to do that, because a lot of kids can't. There's not a lot of athletes. There's a lot of kids that aren't athletes that are paying to go to college. Mm-hmm. They're making that choice also. So I think that does matter, and that's a good way to look at it, Jackson. With that, Jacob, tell the viewers also, what is your game plan? Obviously, you're going to go to college. You want to wrestle in college, but where do you think wrestling's going to take you? Because I know before you said you had some other goals with
Olympics. That's what I'm hoping to take me to the Olympics.
So the Olympics, that's it, man. So I know you manifested this as well. You talked about it, and you're like, I want to be on Olympics and Olympic teams. So that is something that you're shooting for. So you have a plan. There's a reason why you want to keep pursuing wrestling. Because a lot of people always say, well, geez, what? There's not professional wrestling, unless you're going to the WWE. Could you ever see yourself doing that?
I don't know. Probably not.
Could you be the next Hulk Hogan? You know what I mean? The next Rock? What do you think?
I don't think WWE's for me.
No, not for you. So, where do you go after college, with wrestling?
My degree, what I get.
Yeah, your degree in college, right. So, that's true. That's very smart. Jackson, what about yourself, man? Have you put any thought into that?
Yeah, I have.
You could be a WWE wrestler, though. I could see it in your face. Yeah. I could see you on top of the road screaming, step into a Slim Jim, baby.
I don't like WWE because it kind of gives wrestling a bad name.
Yeah.
So I would never do WWE.
What do you think it gives a bad name for? Why?
Well, because people are like, "Oh, you wrestle? Do you jump off the top rope?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No, I gut out 6-minute matches and have to pin people and have a lot of pressure on my back, and it's not just I'm not gonna say it's scripted or not scripted because I haven't really looked into it, but wrestling will break you and then you'll break people, and it's a lot of work for people to be like, oh, it's scripted. I'm like, it's not.
Well,
it's
what
wrestling.
you do isn't scripted, obviously, but even in WWE or something like that, do you say yourself you would never do that?
No, because people get the two mixed
Jackson,
up.
come on, wait a second. I offer you $10 million to go to WWE wrestling. You going to turn that down?
That's $10 million.
Exactly. That's my point. That's my point. So, yeah, you would do it, right? And listen, those are scripted, but they still have to do it. Them guys that are jumping off the rinks. Heck, we had Eric Watts here on our podcast and stuff, and his body's beaten up from those things because you know what? Them chairs are real that they hit you over the back with and smack you in the head with and stuff. And them tables that they throw you through, they're real tables. They don't just have they're not just up there by some little piece of wood and accidentally, it breaks in half and stuff. No, they literally fall through that crap. So a lot of times, it is a little bit, they don't get enough credit for what they probably should as actually athletes, because they are very athletic, them guys. Let's be honest. I mean, they're monsters too, but they're athletic as well.
And at the end of the day, it is still wrestling. So the credit where credit's due, because wrestling's tough.
Yeah.
And it's under-recognized, and it's, the risk to reward ratio is very, very high. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it is wrestling.
How do you feel about at your level? Both of you guys are wrestling at both athletically. I'll just say at a very high level, right? And I know you travel all over the place and wrestle the best, and whenever you can, you travel all over the place. Wrestle the best wherever you can. Stuff. What about these other kids that don't really give as much as you do to the sport? What do you think of them? Do you have anything to say about the kids that may not have the athletic ability that you guys have, or the determination and strive that you have?
To me, when I see kids in the room, all it takes for me is giving as much effort as you can, because that's free. That doesn't cost any money. It doesn't take anything. You just have to give as much effort as you possibly can. And if you say you want to get better, acting like it. So, I mean, there's a lot of things off the wrestling mat that carry over onto the wrestling mat. And as long as you're doing your hardest, trying your hardest to take care of those things, that's all you can do. As long as you're giving as much effort is the most important part of wrestling, and trying is the most important part. For me, I don't care if I lose a match as long as I wrestled hard, and I can say without a doubt I wrestled as hard as I could. You know what I mean? So just for me is effort.
That's good. That's a good way to say it.
I still see him as a human. I still see him as another wrestler. I still see him as an athlete who wants to get better.
Yeah. How about you, Jacob?
Same thing as him.
Yeah?
You took the words out of my mouth.
Okay. That's good to know. Is it like a brotherhood?
100%. It's like football.
Yeah. But you know what? But football can be a little different. There's a lot of trash talking on the field, going on and stuff. A lot of people, a lot of haters out there because they may not have the athletic ability that others do. And with social media being, and there's so many D1 offers, there's only not every kid can get a D1 offer. So there's a little bit more stigma to that all. I think wrestling's a little different because it is a smaller group, and for somebody that wants to wrestle, like I said, it ain't fun. It's just it's not fun. I'm sorry. Wrestling's hard work. The fun part comes with the reward, and the reward is when you get that hand raised, or you actually do, like you said, you give your best, you wrestle good, you know it, and you're like, you know what, I closed the gap a little bit this year.
Take that from you.
Yeah.
No one can take that from you.
That's right. But I think, it creates something within them, or I should say it identifies the person, right, when you're a wrestler versus in a football or a different sport. Basketball or any of the team sports, because you can't hide. You can't blame it on, well, the play calling was wrong, or the quarterback threw the wrong pass to the wrong person, or didn't read this person, or the pitcher was too strong, he threw a curveball. I mean, it's just you and them on the mat. So there's nobody to blame but yourself. So you got to take on all the responsibility with that. Talking with other athletes in the past, film is obviously a big thing. Do you guys watch a lot of film in wrestling or no?
At a collegiate level, yes. But I don't ever really watch film of my opponents. I don't really like doing that personally.
Yeah. Why is that?
Just something I was a superstition that one of my coaches said. Last time he watched film on a kid, he lost. Last time I watched film on a kid, I lost.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it got in your head.
Yeah.
So it's a mental thing. I got you. How about you, Jackson?
For me, my coaches, they watch, if words on the streets hey, this kid does this and whatnot, my coaches will be like, hey, don't, leave this, don't step on this foot too heavy. He shoots a really good low single or something like that. I'll very, very slightly move the way I wrestle towards them and cater it towards them a little bit. But, I mean, from last year I watched a lot of wrestling. I was like, oh, this is the kid I'm having in the finals. This is how I'm going to wrestle him. And I did that a lot. And that got in my head more than it helped. And this year I did not watch... I don't think I watched a single person wrestle. Not even the kid in the finals. I just knew who he was because I wrestled him in the years.
See, that's interesting. That's an interesting take on that from both of you. You two state champions, and myself. I would want to watch. I would want to learn as much as I possibly can about my opponent, so that I know if he when he pops me in the forehead, he's going to try to shoot from the outside. You know what I mean? So I would have that edge. But you're saying, hey, you're thinking too much about it.
Yeah.
let's just wrestle. You come get me, I'm coming to get you, and and we'll just see what happens.
No doubt.
So it's an interesting point. So maybe that's been a problem of mine. I don't know. Boxers do it, right? They're watching each other. Fighters do it. You want to look and see what that's like and those types of things. So Jackson, obviously you see Jacobs 2 years in a row champion. And you see what a target. Do you think it's going to be easier for you this year? Like he said it was kind of easier for him because he kind of already knew what to expect and what to do.
Easy is a strong word. I feel like it's, like you said, been there, done that. You're not as nervous, not as anxious, not as all this, that, and the other. But for me, it's like I still, it'll be easier if I train harder. Like it'll be easier for me if I train harder. That's all I got to do. Like everyone says, oh, you won this tournament easily. Oh, you beat this kid and it looked easy. Oh, you did this and it looked easy. That looked easy, but you did not see the hours prior to how I had to train to make it easy.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's easy when we shake hands and I, wrestle the match, but that does not mean the preparation was easy.
Right.
Because the preparation influences how the match is.
Now, will you do anything different this year, preparing yourself this year coming up than you did, obviously, the year before?
No, I just keep my foot on the gas. Don't slow down. I'm not satisfied with where I was. I mean, it's cool to win a state title, but it's even cooler to win 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, but still, you got to think about that. Training, obviously, you trained, it worked, so, if it's not broke, don't fix it, they always say. But then again, you got to elevate as well. You want to be better than you were last year, and the only way to be better is to do more. That's just it in a nutshell. So the question is, what are you going to do differently to keep your level of success growing? And that's what you got to ask yourself. Jacob, you ever think about that? Like,
100%.
What was one thing that you would say that, hey, I'm going to work out more?
My top game, so like my top work, I got a lot better this year. So like my freshman, sophomore year, I couldn't hold nobody down, but this year I was able to hold like the bigger kids down, and it helped me a lot throughout my matches.
Yeah. How about you, Jackson? What do you think?
It was opposite for me. Last year I got held down a lot, so I had to work on just getting out and away, and then getting back to my feet because that's where I'm strong.
Yeah.
But I mean, just all around as a wrestler, I think mentally is where I improved the most.
Well, I think wrestling's totally a lot of mental. Okay. You mentioned about you do a lot of spiritual work, and you do a lot of you thinking, you do a lot of mental relaxation and stuff. That is important. You know what I mean, for yourself. But you got to also plan. If I'm running 2 miles, I got to start running 3. Like, do you think like that? If I'm doing 100 push-ups a day, I got to do 150 now. You always got to try to up your best, because at the end of the day, you can only be state champion again. Now, let me ask you this: why don't they? Just curious. You're state champion 4A. Let's just say you were in the same weight class. You're 7A, right? Why don't they have a match off between all the state champions?
I don't know.
Between each level.
I like that.
I would like that because, I did the math. It was something like 78 state champions. It's special, but it's more special if there's one at each weight class.
Well, now you're national champion.
Yeah, like California, take California for example. Everybody in California wrestle at the same state title, state tournament.
Right.
So, that's a true state champion to me. Whoever goes out there and wins that's a true state champion. Because
you're right.
Everybody.
That's right. There's a lot of people. And you think about it, there's a lot of counties. There's a lot of different sections. There's different, stadium. And we talked about that a little bit earlier and stuff. But yeah, there's different levels. And even just 7 classes just here, when you think of it, there's 7 285-pound champions.
Yeah.
You're one of the 7, right? Well, why not just be 101? Those 7 should join in. Because what's really the difference between 4A and 7A is just the amount of population that went to your school. It doesn't determine the athlete and the kid who's actually on the mat and actually working, to become that person. So, yeah, I mean, that would be, I wonder why they haven't done something like that.
They need to.
Yeah. We have to get Brooks into this, man. We need to talk to Brooks. We need to start out our own, a state championship. All champions are invited, and we'll do an invite only. But you got to be a state champ to be invited.
If you lose, you got to give up your medal.
Ooh,
man, I like that.
Ooh, even better. Like, you got to show up with your medal and put it in so the state champ gets all 6 of them. Wow, that'd be wild, huh? That'd be kind of fun.
That would be.
Yeah.
I mean,
winners take all, literally.
What about the guy that didn't want to come? Be like, nah, man, I don't want to give up my medal. Like, them guys are better than
Then
me.
he already lost.
Yeah,
We're
he's a
not signing up.
sissy.
He did already lost in his head, But I'm just saying, if he's a state champ at, let's say, 2A, but he's like, oh, shit, that Jackson, he'll kill me. I don't really want to wrestle him, but I'm still state champ, and I feel good.
It's a moral loss. How could you feel?
Yeah.
Someone comes up to you, calls you out, and you back down. They won already.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
100%. God, that would be fun. I'm going to have to do that, man. We have to try to create a tournament to do that. It had to be real quick, though, because everybody started eating, right? I mean, how many pounds did you gain after you won the state champion?
About like 7.
7. How about you, Jackson?
I tried to put on as much as possible, but it was like 4.
4? That's it?
I don't know.
What'd you eat afterwards, though? After you won state champ, where'd you go
I
eat?
said, bacon cheeseburger. And
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
That was it?
I don't know. I
Derek-
think on the way home, I did actually have a Big Mac and some nuggets because I haven't had McDonald's in months and months and months. And McDonald's wasn't even good, but we were driving by and I'm like, McDonald's sounds really good right now. So I mean,
Did you like it, though, honestly?
It was really good.
Was it good?
It was really
See,
good.
I find it that once you give up so much and then you try to go back to it, you're like, it wasn't all that.
I think I was just hungry in the
Or
first
makes you
place.
sick.
Like maybe some salmon and rice that would have really hit the spot, but I was just really hungry in the first place. I got done wrestling probably at like 5:30, and we were making the trek back, and it was like probably 8. And I was like, I haven't eaten in forever. Didn't eat,
Yeah.
since an hour before my match. I'm starving. Like anything would do.
Yeah, that's good. Well, listen, man, before we, close up, I do want you to talk to the viewers real quick. There's a lot of kids out there that thought about wrestling, right? And you two are really good advocates of helping others that, want to, try wrestling. Some of them think it's too late. Even, Rock, my son, he was a senior this year, and first time he was going to try wrestling. Unfortunately, he got hit with, a virus that wouldn't let him, do that. When he had mono, you can't wrestle with mono. Not allowed. That's a no-no. So it was unfortunate, but it's never too late. I mean, somebody can still go out there and they can make a name for themselves. But more importantly, I think you can take something from it, from the sport, regardless of the medals, the championships, and everything else, but just as a quality to take with you in life. Don't you feel like wrestling has given you something different that others wouldn't get?
100%.
And what I want you to do is share that with the viewers. Jacob, let's start with you. Share. What do you think? There's one thing, a quality that's given you that will help you later in life.
My mentality, working when things get tough. It's like working when things get tough. A lot of people quit when it gets tough, but when works, dang, hold on. When tough things get going, people get whatever. You know what? Scratch it. Just be mindful of what you're doing. Working out, just.
I think what you're going to
myself
say
up.
is when things get tough, the tough get going.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
That's what you wanted to say. And you're 100% correct. Jackson, what about you?
Honestly, just hard work mentality. Like he said, I mean, no one can take, like, if I've never won a wrestling match a day in my life, no one can take from me the fact that I tried it. And you know when you're signing that sheet, when you're going to get that physical, wrestling's tough. You look at these kids, their ears are busted, their faces are busted, always have black eyes, always cutting weight, always look miserable and stuff. And you really, truly want to sit there and be like, I want to be miserable for the bigger end goal. I mean, no one can take that from you.
It's true.
And it brings a lot of confidence too. Like a lot of people, they get picked on and stuff, bullied and whatnot before they wrestle, and then they go step on a wrestling mat. It doesn't even matter if they get bigger, stronger, faster. Just you can feel the presence when they walk in the room.
Yeah.
The lion's not the biggest animal in the jungle.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he can make a roar if he's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thanks guys for both being here. Number one thing they can't ever take away from you, you're both state champs again, and well deserving. I watched the work you put in, and I think it's important. Life is going to hit harder than anything else out there, so the struggles that you're going through now is you're just getting ready to make life a lot easier for you, and that's the part that I think more kids should take and try, because I think a lot of kids are afraid because it's hard, or they're afraid because they don't want to, give up something, that's important to them in their life, whether it's their time, whether it's food, whether, it's hard work, and stuff. They don't want to put that in there. And to me, sooner or later, you're going to have to in life somewhere along the line. So you guys are giving yourselves a heads up when it comes to getting out there in the real world. And I think both of you are going to do a hell of a job. And, you're going to, I just got to feel I'm going to see you in Olympics first. And for some reason, I think I'm going to see Jackson going to end up being on that same team with you one year as well.
I think so too.
I'm excited about that. So there you have it, folks. Another Wham Bam podcast is over with 2 state champions. 2 kids, man. We're talking 16, 17 years old, and already they're telling you, go out there and work hard, man. Go out there and commit to something. Do something that, you wouldn't have done yesterday. And, as Wham Bam always says, if your life was a movie, would it be worth watching? And if the answer is no, then stop being ordinary and start being extraordinary. And remember, baby, stay positive and keep testing negative. Till Wednesday, I'm out of here. This podcast was brought to you by Cost Plus Processing, the leader in merchant processing. Call 1-855-391-9190 and find out why they are the future in merchant